This lady. I know these dudes. Oh, I'm gonna have a good time tonight. Tomorrow I'm having a colonoscopy done. And the truth is, the procedure itself is really not that bad. It's all the prep that goes into it that's horrible. And I don't know if you've ever had one done, but this will be my third one. And I'm not really looking forward to it. Starting 5 days out, you can't have any raw fruits or vegetables or nuts. Which means the peaches I bought earlier this week, I got to have one. They were so good too. It also means the watermelon my wife bought yesterday, could not have. And I usually snack on almonds in the afternoons when I get a little hungry. Can't do that either. So 5 days, none of that. And then today, the day before, I can have a liquid type breakfast like oatmeal, pudding. They actually listed ice cream. You can have ice cream for breakfast, which I guess if I really felt like it I could have, but I just not into that. And then tonight I get to take some anti-nausea medicine, and then I get to start taking the Trilite, which is a liquid that pretty much clears out your insides. And you take 8 ounces every 15 minutes, which, funny story, I didn't realize that the first time I did this. So what I did was, at the time they said to start, I just got me a big old cup of it and started chugging it. I'll try to drink 32 ounces at a time, but apparently that's not the way to do it. The next time I did it, which was 6 weeks later, my wife pointed out, says, you just do 8 ounces a stretch. You don't chug it. It's like, oh, and it made it a lot easier to handle. Because the stuff doesn't taste that good. It's not that delicious. It's got a lemon flavor to it. And in all honesty, my body wash has the same scent. So I guess that's one way to stay aware of things, is just have your body wash smell. Anyway, so start taking that tonight. Go to bed. Hopefully, don't poo the bed tonight, because I learned that you don't wait. You don't wait. Once that stuff hits, you don't hesitate to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom. And then tomorrow I'll finish it off in the morning, and in between there it's just liquid. I can have like broth and coffee and tea and Gatorade and those sorts of things. So it's the 5 days out, it's not too bad. The day before and the day of is not good. So once I get done with my procedure sometime tomorrow afternoon, I'll be looking for a burger, I guess, or something just friggin' awesome. Now, the reason I'm having a colonoscopy done is because I have something called Lynch Syndrome. Lynch Syndrome, I guess, is fairly rare, but in my family, it's, especially my maternal side, it's pretty rampant. I believe there's quite a few people on my mom's side that have it, so that's where I get it all from. The funny story is, I had some spots on my face. I went to the dermatologist to get them looked at, and they tested them out and found that they're markers for having polyps, colon issues. So I thought that was really strange, because when I got the reports back, I thought they were going to tell me I had skin cancer. Like, that's, I mean, I'm pale. I've sunburned when I was young, and I expect to get skin cancer. My mom and my grandmother both had skin cancer, so that was what I was expecting. But when she said, the nurse told me that I needed to go to a GI doc and have my colon checked out, I was really surprised. Not what I expected. So I had that done, and the first go round, I found that they pulled 7 or 8 polyps. Most of them were benign, but there were a couple of precancerous, which is a little worrisome, I guess. The doc wanted to go back in 6 weeks after that to make sure he got everything, because apparently it took a while to go through. So we did that. I got to do that thing all over again, which 6 weeks was enough time for me to be okay with it, I guess. Like, I didn't have an issue the second time. Like, I figured out how to do it. It wasn't as much of a pain. But it's been a year over a year actually, since the last time, and I just wasn't ready for it. So tonight, yay, probably gonna poo myself at some point. I'll pick up some adult diapers just in case. And the funny thing is, most of the time they tell you you don't need a colonoscopy until you're in your 50s, I think. But if you have a history of colon cancer in your family, you need to get it 10 years prior to when that person was diagnosed. Now, I have an uncle that died of colon cancer because it wasn't diagnosed properly early enough. This was in the early 90s. By the time they found out what it was too late, and he ended up passing away. But because he's my uncle and not my direct bloodline, they said I had nothing to worry about. Like, don't concern yourself with it. So I was like, all right. And I went to the doctors, letting them know that I had this condition, or I had this, I needed to get checked out, and they kept putting it off. No, you don't need it. So finally, after going to the dermatologist of all people, they said, yeah, you need to go get that checked out. And one doctor that I had gone to had said that because I know what Lynch syndrome is, I needed to get checked out. Because just knowing what it is usually means that you probably are at risk. So that's what I did. Well, in a roundabout way, I guess. So I'm just telling you all this to tell you what's going on with me. And if you guys have a history of colon cancer in your family, you need to go ahead and get that checked out. You know, if it's even if it's an uncle, you might want to look into it and see what's going on. And they don't typically do the test for Lynch syndrome because it's an expensive test to do. Oh, and the reason it's called Lynch syndrome is because that's the name of the doctor who discovered it. I forget what his first name is, but Dr. Lynch found the markers or whatever DNA test to look for, because the people who have these markers or whatever you want to call them have a higher risk of colon cancer in men. I think it's ovarian cancer in women. I don't remember. I'm not a woman. So he figured out what it was. Actually, no, his son's a doctor now, and he carries on the research and whatnot. So anyway.